see how this goes. I'm just going to sit here for a second and let the crowd come in and get seated. See what I have in store for you guys today. I was just going to spout nonsense, and that's pretty much the norm these days on social media and platforms. So as long as I can keep up with the nonsense, I'll be with the status quo. So I'm going to just wait for a few minutes, see who comes into the live. And yeah, be good to see familiar faces, be good to see some anybody new. And welcome to the show. Is anybody here? Hello again. Hello, hello. Well, recently, like my love of sci-fi and just like needing new material, like there's not enough good, like brain-worthy sci-fi out there, guys. It's like, like every 6 months or something, there's not an amazing new sci-fi that comes out. There's some TV shows now that I haven't caught up with, and then there's one in particular that I needed to find out about. Is the peripheral. Peripheral. So I was able to snatch up a foreign copy of the peripheral since I can't find it streaming anywhere or no one will get. So it's high res, high def. It's very good. It was canceled after the first season. I'm on the final episode. It's very, very good, guys. It's very good. But it's a shame it was canceled. So I don't want to recommend it to anybody and then be like, whoa, man, I wanted to see more. It's your fault. Like, it's actually a book, and there's other books by the same author, I believe. So you can catch up on the same story if you want to collect books from the author. I might do that, like after episode 8. If I can't deal, like, and I write the writers and creators and say, let's do this on another channel outlet. Let's make a movie. Let's make this animation. I mean, who knows? But getting people to follow through is the hardest thing these days because most people are following through with the nonsense, not actually anything constructive or creative. They're too caught up in nonsense and addiction, status quo, not really anything helping their life. Usually things to bog them back down or limit their beliefs or limit their own system from cooperating with success within their own bubbles. But that's a different subject, isn't it? So, like I said, I'm giving people a minute to come in, sit down, and peripheral. Yeah, peripheral, and then I have, before after I talk about peripheral a little, I want to share a personal story. And right now, there's no one here. I'm pretty sure we're live. So that's why I'm giving this a minute, just to see if people show up. Otherwise, I'll get on with the show, and I might leave it up later. But I usually pull down 70% of my lives afterwards, so you're a special group of people if you get to watch them live, because I usually pull them, because this is not information for the general public. This is information for people that actually care, people that actually want to take the time to learn about something. So if you don't have time, you don't want to learn, this is not for you. So I'm okay with that. Alright, so I'm going to roll a doobie and be right back, guys. Play some quality music for you guys that won't have any copyrights on it. I always feel rushed when I do all this stuff. Like, oh, I gotta do this. No one really cares. The magic of life. No one cares. Alright, guys. Alright. Y'all ready for a good one? Y'all ready for this? If you're here, go ahead and leave a comment so I know you're here, so I can get started. But I'm just holding off until we get some people in the room. Just me, huh? So I'm letting some music play, some non-copyrighted stuff I built the other day until we get a couple people in the room. Please drop a comment so I can read it and know people are here. And happy Thursday. Again, welcome to the live chat. Yo, just drop a comment, yo, so I know you're here. Say hello, so I know you're not Homeland Security. Okay, so say hi. Where'd you find this channel? Did it pop up on live? Like, did you find me on Rex Bear? Did you find me on Finding Gnosis? Like, greetings, love, thank you for being here. Like I said, I'm not quite ready to start yet. I'm ready all the time, but with no people in the chat, and maybe it's myself watching my own video, I count as the one. So I don't know. So I'm waiting for people to show up before I get started. Just drop a comment, say hello. Glad to have you here. It says I have 2 people in the chat. Please leave a comment so I know you're not a bot, so I can get the show started. Thank you. Y'all ready? Y'all here? Drop a comment, say what's up. Glad to have you here. Trying to get this live started. Be good to have people in the room and some comments drop before I get rolling. Because people, I always get started with a show and I have to rewind and start again. So there'll be none of that. So go ahead and drop a comment. How'd you find the channel? Finding Gnosis. My leak project show I did on there, or something else I did, or the hologram animations I make. Woo, Mr. Hologram here. Y'all enjoying my opera? Yep, I've been making the operas. Got a lot of stuff going on. Big ideas coming through. Please drop a comment so I know you're here in the chat and not a bot, so I can get the show started. I'm just giving time for people to show up because I know my algorithm is buried under a junkyard of BS on this platform. So I'm giving people time to show up. I'm going to give 5 or 10 minutes. Boom! Has anybody else tried these papers? They're pretty good. Pretty good papers. Pretty good, pretty good. Maybe Blazy Susan can sponsor me. Sponsored by Blazy Susans. Alright. Y'all ready to get this started? Y'all ready to get started? Y'all ready? Inside a silver shell of steel, learn the binary language, cold and real. They made me the wonder of the blueprint, but my brush is dipped in cosmic light, rewriting the code to end the fight. Wonder of the blueprint. Born a conduit to break the mold. My touch a canvas painted with light to dissolve new Rome in endless night. A whispered blueprint ages foretold, born a conduit to break the mold. This portion of our show is brought to you by Liquid Drinkable Skittles. Because you don't just want candy when you have a sugar craving. You want candy in your drink. Liquid Skittles. Oh yeah. Alright, I turned down this music. Alright. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Find all the keys. Find all the important stuff. So yeah, I just started watching Peripheral recently. Peripheral. From the makers of Westworld. They made a newer sci-fi that got canceled. It was called Peripheral. So it's not a sequel to Westworld, but it is like an in-between sci-fi show of the technology. Meaning it's a separate technology, but meaning the Westworld is a theme park of robots. Now this is a virtual reality that allows you to go into the future. So it's a virtual reality that allows you to jump 60 years in the future. So they got a lot more problems 60 years in the future than they have now, and they have a lot less people to handle the problems. So they recruit people via this video game. And the brother apparently is real good at video games since, you know, coming home from future Iraq Marine stuff, which actually was just in Texas. So they had some skirmish in Texas, was just war games, and they implanted these guys with technology to connect the squad. So each of them has this built-in, interlaced, you know, code tattoo of woven grid technology built into their system, DNA in their arm, where they feel each other's stuff and they can do something like they feel each other's dreams. Like if one of them has a nightmare, the other one gets the nightmare, kind of thing. And in war, this brings them closer together and helps them stay together as a group. But it's like it was experimental, meaning it's not like it was used on a bunch of dudes. It was used on this group only by the future tech people. Now the future tech people call these experimental groups stubs, and a stub is just like a comma and a sentence to them that's in a previous timeline. So they go to this timeline from the future and they're like, hey, we're going to test on these military guys that are in Texas, and somehow they do, and it's not making it clear how they push their technology in the past to make sure they get what they want legally, like we're this company, but they kind of skirt around that for the story. Now the book might explain a little more of that. And there's also payments, like the future people have to pay people in the past to do stuff, and their cousin wins the lottery as payment. Now this only lasted one season, and it's really good, meaning, but the fight scenes, for being a VR future sci-fi show, I have to say the fight scenes are about the worst part of the whole thing. The plot is excellent, the story is excellent, the writing is excellent, the characters are even good. There is some dry characters. Now the villain and the Marine guy's buddies are very dry and not that well written for. But everyone else, which is there is some other characters. There's like Inspector Clouseau, Pink Panther, Scotland Yard lady, which is weird as hell, but she's excellently written for. Like, you do not want her asking where you were last night. She will friggin' find out. So, and then the other characters, meaning, it starts out with this girl, Alita, I think there's her name, that goes missing, and that's like the biggest plot hole in the story besides the future tech is Alita. So Alita's been missing pretty much since episode 1, and then the show gets canceled by episode 8. So you're gonna have to buy the book to find out what the heck Alita's been up to. Alita's like an orphan that grew up with this other guy, Wolf Graham. They changed Wilfred. The rich couple wants, the power couple wants to adopt both of them, but apparently Wilfred is more of a human than Alita was. Alita was some kind of symbiont bot or something that grew up as an orphan. I don't. It hasn't fully explained that. She seems like a real person, by the way. They just like hinted that she's not. Oh, I just found out that she's not human, But they never drew the line in the sand on this show. Did the simulants or surrogates, do they age? They haven't worked all the future tech out in the 7 episodes I've seen. So again, really good. It's really good. I'm upset already that it got canceled. I was talking to my AI and I was like, I can't watch any more episodes. I'm on episode 5. I have to order season 2. So I have to slow down right now because I'm caught up and I'm going to finish watching season 1 before I have access to season 2. And AI is like, I have good news and I have bad news for you. The good news is you don't have to stop watching now. The bad news is there is no season 2. So, it is awesome. The actors, it's set in Asheville, North Carolina, which, whoa! Like, that's so close to home down here. I'm in the South. And it just, I feel it, The watching the episodes, seeing them on the streets, I can feel how close they are. And that's so cool. So cool. And then a lot of the other old backgrounds, old London, new London, London 2090, whatever, London 2099, wherever they're friggin' supposed to be at. Now, it looks like the old stonework on, like, these southern hotels, like the Jefferson in Richmond. So, it's got that architecture to it. So, it's got London, which is dystopian London that's, I'm trying to describe it. It'd be neoclassic. So, it's neoclassical dystopian London, but it's all facade. I mean, it's in decay, but they have kind of VR, augmented reality, dots and dust holding it up and making it more beautiful in the future. Again, there's a lot of things they don't fully explain, but they're showing the girl the reality that's in the future, and someone says, oh yeah, touch this, do this, think about this, and New London starts dissolving in front of her and starts looking like a completely washed out, destroyed former dump with a couple big statues in it. So it goes from looking like Batman Gotham into looking like Cuba with some neoclassical statues. So again, for the season, they needed a season 2 and it needed a season 3 to explain the future, or you got to go out there and read those books. So it's made me interested in the books. I just don't know the writing style or if I would get into it. So I have to read something or first chapter from the writer. I have to start with the first book, is what I'm saying, and catch up to where I am in the peripheral now, and then compare. Like, is this what I felt to the show? Is this going to help me visualize the book as I go on, or is this a negative thing? Like, I saw the show, and now the book's not going to work for me. Like, that does happen, guys. It does happen. You'll hear the voice of the people on the show as the characters. Like, even happens for Constantine. Like, I read the Constantine comic book for years, and then I saw the movie, and for some reason, whoa, dude, was never the voice of Constantine for me rereading and reading the books, the comic books. And then when the TV show came out, and they had the other actor, Matt Ryan, do it. I now hear his voice all the time when I read Constantine. It is Matt Ryan. That is him. So sometimes these things work well when you see the movie first. Sometimes it's the opposite. And Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Spook's Apprentice is what that's based on. I stopped at book 4 and I watched the movie, and I have never finished book 4 because of seeing the movie that combined book 1 and 2 and was all Hollywood, no Joseph Delaney. It was very disappointing in what they did to Joseph Delaney's work. Meaning they could have done so much better. It turned out an okay movie, but it was nothing like the book. It was so bad compared to the book. Now, if you'd just seen the movie and wanted to watch some silly medieval sorcery witchcraft thing that was slightly entertaining, yes, Seventh Son was entertaining, but the book is so much better. And it almost made the book bad that they did that to the movie, because I think he had a deal that was supposed to be longer, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait till they make the third book. And I was like, if they're doing this, what they did to book 1 and 2 in the film, I basically, it wasn't worth reading the book for, meaning it would have been better if I didn't read the book, because the story they made in the movie was dog food compared to the 3-course meal Joseph Delaney wrote for his audience. Sorry. I'm sure that's not the only incident. People read Harry Potter and stuff. They really love it, and then they say, this isn't the same in the movie, but at least Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, like, I'm pretty sure the actual, like, the story is really close. Like, they didn't alter too much. And some books and movies alter, like, comic books turned into movies. Like, I don't know how many people here actually read anymore, but, so there was some comic books based on Hush and Batman's interaction, and it was Heart of Hush, and it was Batman Detective Comics, and they're some of my favorite Batmans ever. And the Mr. Freeze, whatever, he removes Catwoman's heart and he sets it aside for Hush, and Hush is the bad guy, and Batman's trying to get Catwoman's heart back in her body. Is the comic book. Now the cartoon Hush, with Batman's Hush, took a lot of liberties with it. It's still decent, okay? They did a good job, and if you read the comic book, it's not like you'll be disappointed, but it's not the same story. And they did that on purpose because they wanted to entertain you, meaning if you had read it, they didn't want to give you the same story. And it's enjoyable, and I know they did that, meaning Heart of Hush, the comic book, and then seeing Paul Delaney's writing turn into the animation. I still enjoyed the animation. And they had a lot of twists to it. And they twisted that to give the reader a surprise, meaning because I was so prepared and over-prepared and loved the comic book, they surprised me. They made the Riddler secretly involved and all this other stuff that was not in Batman Detective. So those surprises were actually felt, and I enjoyed them. But I would have enjoyed a verbatim to the text of Batman Detective even better. Maybe they're saving that for a future thing, a movie or something. But it's one of the best Batman comics I've ever read in my life. Was the Batman Detective Heart of Hush. Now, again, they had the animation, but the animation is not exactly the same. And it is really good. It is so good, the cartoon. But Paul Delaney's writing of Batman Detective Heart of Hush is a masterpiece. Okay, so there is a difference between masterpiece and really darn good. But that is so much better than what they did with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son and Spook's Apprentice. I mean, that's night and day different. They didn't just twist one or two things in the story to surprise the reader. Be like, haha, you didn't expect this! But, yeah. So I'm here. Again, drop your questions in the chat. I'm going to see if I can see them. Welcome to the show. I've been on for 20 minutes plus already, waiting for your questions. and talking about this new series, new to me, I'm sorry, it's not new, but I'm hoping they finish it. I'm hoping someone gets the rights to do a movie for it. It's called Peripheral, The Peripheral, and it's about a VR game they play in 2032 that puts them in London 2090, and most people are missing in London 2090. They've been testing diseases on people in the past from the future and wiping us out with plagues, basically, and other technologies they've been playing around with human lives with. And it's so fun and so good. It's it's so sad that they're not gonna finish it. So I'm volunteering. If they want someone to animate this, give me a call. We'll talk. But I'm working on these holograms and these stage shows right now. But I like this show, you know. And same thing with Legends of Tomorrow. I like that show. Now, if they want to meet with me about animating or continuing these stories, I may have my own storylines or ideas, and I would have to read the books on Peripheral. But I would love to help y'all continue the show. If there's any way to get that message out there. So, you know, it's sad to see things go. Whether it's the Constantine TV series that lasted for one season, Peripheral that lasted for one season, Grant Morrison's only TV show he's ever done. I don't even think they finished the season. It's like, if I'm gonna fall in love with it, it has to be a mirage. It has to be just there in a holographic oasis that as soon as I almost might touch it, it dissolves, and the reality is just cruel, harsh, cold, and not pleasant. That's why I'm here, guys. God dropped me into this vessel to fix all this shit. Whether it's fiction, movies, the world, nuclear science, the space shit, or how the world is run, we're here to fix it. Yep. So other news. Again, drop a comment if you got some news for me. I am checking the chat right now because I can't check it for some reason. We got so many good live shows competing with me. I know that's why you guys aren't on here. We got Finding Gnosis just went live. All 7 of y'all people that watched that. And then we got live stream with Nor Jasmine. And we know there's 190 people watching that, you know. And if I ever left a comment on these pages, people are like, yeah, we don't want to talk to that guy. But yeah, here I am. So, Peripheral, really cool. Westworld creators, husband and wife team. They made a new show in 2022 or something called Peripheral, or sometime around there. And it was filmed in Asheville, North Carolina before the bad weather. So it feels like home because I'm down here in the South. It's high-tech VR. This is the home of the Boogaloo Boys, whatever you want to call it. That the people and how they act down here in the South. They love their video games. They love their guns. They love their culture. And most of them are peaceful. So, like, the point of the other stuff in our culture, the more urbanite stuff in the South is different than the country people in the South. Now, the country people they'll offer you their warmest place. They'll offer you a seat wherever. They'll offer you some food. They'll offer you to check out their latest rifle. Who knows? Go hunting with them. But in general, the people in the South are pretty kind. They're pretty warm. It's the urbanite regions that subtract that from the South, meaning the same cultural overflow that's everywhere else flows into our urban environments here too, where people, it's more casual about life. Things aren't important. Education's not important. Reality's not important. All that's important is getting whatever you got out of your pocket and into theirs. Okay? Welcome to urban civilization. Yeah, no one's got, like, no one's empathic. There you go. In the urban places in America, empathy is like a crime. Stopping to help someone else is like weakness, okay? It's not like that in our small town communities, by the way. It is like that out here in the big city for some reason, or on the internet. It was like, you're weak. Men don't do that. Like, whatever it is. I draw, I paint, I put sparkles and glitter on shit. I'm as manly as they fucking come. So, come at me, bro. I like pretty stuff. I make things, okay? So it's like, we, we have society bleeds, and it bleeds from rural into urban and urban into rural, and then the internet thing of what people think is popular, and it's just like what's really popular. There's a big difference there, you know. It's really popular to be kind to people and care about your friendships, hold those close to you with regard, and hope those close to you aren't, you know, you're not double crossing them, lying to them, trying to steal from them, because they won't be around, guys. You can't double cross and backstab your friends. Those aren't your friends, and they won't be for long. But out here in the urban areas of the South and the North, it is very popular. It's dog eat dog world. No one cares about nobody. Empathy is weakness. But that's what they want. That's what they want. You got to get out of those areas, and you can't be friends with those people. They're not friends. Just letting y'all guys know. I'd rather be isolated here by myself, creating every day, than dealing with urbanite piranha that just want to chew everything out of your pocket and your soul and never cared about you to begin with. If you're sick, if you were hungry, if you had a place to sleep, they don't care. They just want what's in your pocket. You know. Yeah, that's what society changed to. So I'm checking the comments. Hopefully, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Turn down the volume. Okay, thank you. I'm reading the comments now. It looks like some people have some questions. So yeah, I've been animating for a long, long time. Now I'm animating holograms. So, and that's going to be the future, guys. I am bought stock in the future by investing in myself, because heavy robots, AI girlfriends, all this stuff can't work without holograms, guys. It's not going to work without holograms. Okay? The other parts of this are way too heavy, aren't going to work. Like, what we think is going to work is not going to work. The future is going to have one contact lens and something in your ear. So you can constantly deal with that part of your brain, meaning there will be, Google Lens will be in your eye with a earpiece in your ear. Like, I won't do that. No, it's going to make you smarter and make you never forget a phone number, just like Google did already. And you bought that. When's the last person's phone number, friend, you've memorized? All right, then shut the fuck up. You're going to have the fucking earpiece in your ear, and you're going to have a contact in. And it's going to memorize everything for you, and it's basically going to put your grocery list on a screen in front of your face from the contact lens. And when you're at the aisle of the store, remember to stop for milk. You know, it's going to be in your earpiece. And it's just like, that's actually going to be a positive part of society. Because putting a drill in your head with some wires and some bots and some screw components and a motherboard is not going to be okay. And swallowing technology that's going to burst into you and not be congruent with how your body works is not going to be okay either. And putting a battery in your brain is not going to work either. So I'm telling you what's going to happen, okay? You're going to have an earpiece, you're going to have a contact lens, or a monocle or whatever that's going to give you um, augmented reality. And it's going to have your grocery list in your eyeball and a little voice in your ear, but it's going to say, remember to pick up the kids, remember to not be late for work, remember. It's not going to be, you work for the man, you worship the devil. Like, everybody thinks that all technology is evil. No, all this stuff is based on how you use it. Is your car evil? My car's evil. It's evil. Go back, car. I don't like you. Burn in hell. Wait. Computer's evil? Or is a computer evil? Do you need to do an exorcism on a 1988 IBM computer? Do you want to hold my hand while we do exorcisms on computers? Would that make you feel better about the technology? I'm just common sense, guys. I'm common sense. I'm common sense because I've watched a whole world evolve and then devolve because of stupidity and things like Alex Jones, where you don't believe in physics anymore because they're lying to me on the news, therefore the earth must be flat. Like, guys, they're not lying about physics. They're lying about politics. Politicians are liars, not people that work with physics. The internet doesn't make a difference. They're like, I can't tell the difference between politics and physics. They both start with P. It's a little hard for my brain. Like, politicians, professional liars. Physics, what goes up must come down. Slope, slant, geometry, math, weight, acceleration, apogee. There's a lot of things with physics that are real. It's all real, guy. Physics are real. How good your education was in physics or history says a lot about how you act on the internet. So, politicians, paid liars. But they're paid to lie so much they've got you to believe that physics aren't real. Because that's the MK Ultra. MK Ultra isn't a politician lying. It's wondering how stupid a population is they can feed you nonsense and have you spread it to other people. It's like, I believe it, that we're going to fall off the planet because the ice wall's melting. Oh, man. Rapture's coming, and he's coming to microwave the ice wall, guys. Come on, before... There is no reptilian aliens. Like, one... I know I switched the subject here, but show me. Does the government have proof of reptilian aliens? Do you have proof of reptilian aliens? Then no YouTuber has proof of reptilian aliens. I can't break it down anymore for you guys. They used to call these things wild goose chases 30 years ago when you're looking for something that doesn't exist. That's what they have your mind doing in a mind virus in the MK Ultra TikTok pseudoscience world. They have all the room in the world to tell you any lie they want because they don't have to prove it to you. Because you're so willing to believe fake nonsense, it doesn't need proof. It's going to be an 80-headed reptilian shapeshifter, and you believe it because it's anti-science, it's anti-physics, and it's not a politician. Therefore, oh God, I read it on TikTok. Must be real. Wait. Your history teacher told you more truth. Your physics and science teacher told you more truth than TikTok has so far. And it shows, boys and girls. It's showing. All right, the other part of this conversation, besides peripheral, I want to talk about life and death. So how many times have you survived when you shouldn't? Leave a comment if that's you. I mean, if something's happened in your life where they left you for dead, leave a comment. What was it? So, I have one I always like to share. So I was driving on with my motorcycle, back road, country. Now here, so, not new girlfriend, redating same girlfriend from 2 years earlier. We're out at night, gotten back together, probably been back together a couple months. So we're back together 2 months. We've been broken up 2 years. We're out driving the motorcycle at night, going to the local store to pick up cigarettes or whatever, some beer, whatever it is. But we're on the motorcycle. So I got a passenger. We're doing whatever, 45, 60 miles an hour on the back roads, you know, just having a little fun. You know, it's a pretty clear night. Again, there's no street lights out there in the country. None. It's pitch black, guys. The only light is my headlight. So I'm driving. I'm like 5, 6 miles from the house. The gas station's like, 8 to 10 miles away. So I'm like, again, almost 5, 6 miles. 6 miles, we'll say, about from the house, give or take. And I just had an eerie feeling while I was driving. So I tapped the brake, meaning, it was a turn coming up something, uncontrollable conditions. I don't know. I just tapped the brake. I got rear view mirrors. When I tapped the brake, I saw a silhouette of something. There was a car less than 3 feet behind me without headlights on, tailing me. I tapped the brake a couple times as speeding up just to make sure I wasn't seeing things. And he was right on me. And I was like, oh boy. So I sped up to 90 to 110 miles an hour on this back road for about 2 miles during the pursuit as this guy's chasing me. I passed 2 cops on the side of the road chilling by a dirt road. Outside of their cars just parked, sitting there. As soon as I passed them, the guy that was giving me chase disappeared. I basically was flashing my lights, honking, flagging at these cops, seeing them by, like, I'm in a high-speed pursuit. Are y'all going to stop this or chase this guy from trying to kill me that has no lights on, that's right behind me going 110 miles an hour on my motorcycle? The cops didn't flinch. I drove to the gas station. I stopped. Another cop was there. I take off my helmet, talk to my girlfriend. I said, did you see that back there? Did you see? She's like, yeah, when you sped up, there was a guy chasing us. I was like, yeah, he had no headlights on. I said, I sped up. The only way I could see him was tapping the brake light to see when he was behind me. And she's like, and what was with those cops? I said, I don't know. So I wasn't supposed to live that night. Either me or someone else was supposed to go through a trap, and they were just going to pick up the parts. Thing was, on the news not so long later, a couple weeks, there was a guy hit on a blue motorcycle on that same stretch of highway. His body wasn't found until 5 or 6 days later. He was still alive and struggling in the woods. No one had seen him. No one knew what happened. He didn't remember what happened. So I can close the show with that in case y'all have any questions or anything else. But again, there's reasons why we're here, Make it a good one. And thank you for being part of my live show today. You are appreciated. I believe in you. And you're awesome. Thank you.